We're used to hearing the conspiracy theories generally come from the right. What's popping up from the left now?
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. Anyone who thought that conspiracy theories were the exclusive domain of the right wing, completely wrong. There have been perhaps two major narratives that we've seen emerging from the left as we've seen the results of this US election be absorbed by both sides. The most prominent one from the left that started emerging, and it was probably, we started analysing this early yesterday, and it was as several states were still being called. It was, in the hours after AP and Fox and some of the big major outlets had made their election call. And there were people jumping on X, Twitter and on other platforms on Reddit saying that there were 20 million missing votes. So I've got an example of one of these posts on X that we can bring up now. And I should say that this has been thoroughly debunked by my team. But what we were seeing was people on X saying that there were 20 million votes missing. And this is actually incredibly easy for my team to debunk. The reason that people can point to those numbers is simply because voting hadn't, all the votes hadn't been counted yet.
So did this, it sounds so ridiculous. Did it gain much traction at all?
Yes.
Yeah?
Massively.
Yeah.
There were people there was a very common trending hashtag of people urging Kamala Harris not to concede. What they were studying was they were looking at the number of popular votes that were cast, the winner of the popular vote from 2020, and they were comparing the number of votes to that. But it was just that the vote numbers hadn't been counted yet. Right. The other prominent narrative that was emerging is maybe a little harder to debunk, and that is because there are grains of truth to it. And that is people who were pointing to foreign influence in this election. So we do know that there has been some evidence of Russian influence. There have been some evidence of foreign agents paying influencers to post material online. The FBI has also been on the front foot reporting examples of its insignia, of the insignia of quite prominent media agencies being used in fake videos that have been spreading online. And on top of that, there was also the FBI linked some hoax bomb threats that were emailed in to quite a few polling stations, especially in swing states, and that was linked back to Russian email domains. What we haven't seen yet is any evidence of that actually having a direct impact on the vote. The swing to Donald Trump can be attributed to a great number of things, but we do know that conspiracy theories appeal to people who find some grain of truth to sort of grasp onto.
Yeah, and so does it appear to be the case that cyber authorities in the US and intelligence authorities were actually pretty effective at jumping on this stuff quickly this time around? Or does it appear to be the case that there just wasn't as much as there has been previously?
I don't think that's something we know yet.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to say definitively either way. Yeah. Certainly the FBI has been very forward in sort of talking about the investigations they have underway, but we simply don't know what impact or what influence there has been going on behind the scenes. I imagine that's something that law enforcement and researchers will be looking at for years to come.
And are there still conspiracy theories coming out from the right, even though Trump won convincingly?
Oh, absolutely. It was actually quite interesting watching the right on social media because, as you know, from 2020 they have been primed by Donald Trump, the most prominent person. They are his supporters, and they have been primed to expect a stolen election. So there was a sense of, I don't want to say disappointment, but there was certainly a bit of bafflement online. We saw very early in the vote counting Donald Trump point to, or he alleged on his social media platform of choice, Truth Social, early in the vote count, that there had been some cheating going on in Philadelphia. Not many posts once the vote started going in his favour, and he obviously wanted people to be able to trust and support the election. What we did see, though, was people on the right wing supporting that same kind of undercount, but using it for their own means and saying that the vote figures from 2020 didn't match up to what we were seeing, and so they were using that to support evidence of a stolen election, which, as we know, has been thoroughly debunked, but they were saying it was stolen in 2020.